Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into the life of a true icon? We're talking Hedy Lamarr today,
Hedy
a
Lamarr.
Hollywood star. But what's fascinating is she had this whole other side, a secret life almost. She was a brilliant inventor.
A woman of many talents.
We're diving into a podcast episode all about her, and let me tell you, the things she accomplished are seriously mind-blowing. Ready to get started?
Absolutely. I'm excited to unpack this one.
Me too. So, Hedy Lamarr, Hollywood star, brilliant inventor. Where do we even begin with a story like this?
Well, let's start at the beginning. Hedy was born in Vienna back in 1914. Hedwig Eva Maria Keisler was her real name.
Wow, quite a name.
Right. And her upbringing was pretty interesting. Her father was a banker, but he loved explaining how things worked, like the mechanics of everyday objects.
So he had a scientific mind.
Yeah, definitely. And her mother was a pianist.
Ah, so that's where the artistic side comes in.
Exactly. You can see how both art and science were kind of woven into her life right from the start.
That's fascinating. So did those early influences lead her straight to inventing? Did she start tinkering as a kid?
Well, she came up with her first invention as a young adult.
Oh, really? What was it?
It was a tablet that you drop into water to create a fizzy drink.
Like an early Alka-Seltzer or something?
Kind of, yeah. It was a pretty innovative idea for the time.
Definitely. It shows she was already thinking outside the box. Even then.
Exactly. But this was just a glimpse of what was to come. This fizzy drink thing, it was just the beginning.
So how did she go from fizzy drinks to, well, groundbreaking technology? What was the turning point?
World War II.
The war.
Yeah. When it broke out, Hedy was deeply affected by the violence and wanted to do something to help the Allied effort.
That makes sense. I can imagine a global conflict like that would inspire people to use their talents in new ways.
Exactly. And she felt like her skills as an inventor could be put to use for something really important. She teamed up with a composer named George Antheil, and together they came up with this revolutionary idea.
Okay, now I have to know, what did they invent? What was this big idea?
They invented something called frequency hopping for radio-controlled torpedoes.
Frequency hopping. What is that?
Okay, so back then, torpedoes were pretty easy for the enemy to jam.
Jam, like interrupt the signal.
Yeah, they could send out interfering signals to knock the torpedoes off course. Hedy and George wanted to find a way to prevent that.
Makes sense. So frequency hopping was a way to make the torpedoes more reliable.
Exactly. Imagine a radio signal that's constantly jumping between different channels so fast that the enemy can't lock onto it to disrupt it.
Wow, that's brilliant. And to think they came up with this during World War II. So how did they actually make it work?
This is where it gets really interesting. They used piano rolls, the kind they used in player pianos.
Piano rolls. Wow. I never would have guessed that connection. But if this invention was so groundbreaking, why didn't it take off right away?
Well, that's the frustrating part. The U.S. Navy actually dismissed their patent in 1942.
They dismissed it. Why?
It seems they just weren't ready to embrace such a radical idea, especially coming from a Hollywood actress.
That's unbelievable. A brilliant idea like that, just overlooked. It makes you wonder how many other innovations might have been lost throughout history because people weren't ready to listen.
Yeah, it's a good point. Sometimes brilliant ideas just need time to be understood and appreciated. And in Hedy's case, recognition did eventually come, but it took a while.
It's amazing how sometimes the most groundbreaking ideas are just ahead of their time.
It really is. And in Hedy's case, well, it wasn't until the 1950s and 60s that the military started to see the real potential of her frequency hopping technology.
So the same technology that was dismissed during World War II ended up becoming important for later military operations.
Exactly. They started using it in various communication systems, and it was incredibly effective.
That's quite a turnaround, but it didn't stop there, did it?
No, it didn't. Hedy's invention actually became the basis for a whole bunch of wireless technologies we use every day.
Wait, are you saying things like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are based on Hedy Lamarr's invention?
You got it. Think about it. Every time you connect to Wi-Fi, use Bluetooth headphones, or rely on GPS,
It's all thanks to her.
all those technologies use the principles of frequency hopping that Hedy and George pioneered.
That's incredible. It's amazing to think that a Hollywood actress from the 1940s played such a big role in shaping the technology we use today.
It really shows you that innovation can come from anywhere. And in Hedy's case, it's even more impressive when you consider the challenges she faced as a woman in a male-dominated field.
Oh, absolutely. It couldn't have been easy to be taken seriously as an inventor back then.
No, not at all. Women in science and technology often faced a lot of skepticism.
I bet.
and they rarely got the credit they deserved. But Hedy, she was determined. She had this vision, and she didn't let those societal barriers stop her.
That's really inspiring. It shows her brilliance and her belief in her own ideas. So after all this, after her invention was finally recognized, what happened to Hedy?
Hmm.
Did she keep inventing? Or did she go back to Hollywood?
Well, she continued acting for a while, but eventually stepped back from the spotlight, lived a more private life in her later years.
I can understand that. After all that, a quieter life probably had its appeal. But I'm curious, was she ever formally recognized for her invention during her lifetime?
She was. In 1997, Hedy received the Electronic Frontier Foundation's Pioneer Award.
The Electronic Frontier Foundation.
Yeah, they're an organization that defends digital privacy, free speech, and innovation.
Wow.
They recognized Hedy's work and its huge impact on modern communication. It was a well-deserved honor.
That's wonderful. It's great to know that she finally got the recognition she deserved, even though it came later in life. It just shows the impact of her invention and how it changed the world.
It really does, and it adds this whole other layer to her story, this duality. She was this glamorous Hollywood icon, but at the same time, she had this brilliant mind that shaped the future of technology.
It makes you think about how we often perceive people based on, superficial things without realizing their talents or the complexities of their lives.
Exactly. Hedy's story challenges us to look beyond those surface judgments and recognize the potential that exists in everyone, no matter how they might be perceived by the world.
It's a powerful reminder that true brilliance can come from anywhere, and that we should never underestimate the power of an idea no matter where it comes from.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Hedy Lamarr's story is a testament to that human capacity for innovation. It's a challenge to us all to embrace curiosity, to challenge conventions, and to try and make a real contribution to the world.
It's a story that'll stick with me for a long time. Hedy Lamarr was so much more than a Hollywood star. She was a visionary, a trailblazer, a true inspiration.
And her legacy lives on. Not just in the technology we use every day, but in the inspiration she provides for future inventors, especially women who are pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It's a reminder that we all have the potential to make a difference, to leave our mark on the world, just like she did.
Absolutely. So as you go about your day, remember the woman who helped shape the technology that connects us all. The woman who proved that beauty and brains aren't mutually exclusive. The woman who dared to dream of a better future and made it a reality.
Remember Hedy Lamarr, the Hollywood icon who became a tech pioneer. Let her story inspire you to explore your own passions, to challenge your limits, and never stop innovating.
And maybe, just maybe, her story will spark something in you. To unlock your own hidden talents, to pursue your own groundbreaking ideas, and leave your own mark on the world. Who knows what amazing things you might achieve? That's something to think about.
That's a fantastic thought to leave our listeners with. Hedy Lamarr's life and legacy truly offer a message of inspiration and possibility. Thank you for joining us on this incredible deep dive into her fascinating story. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing those boundaries.
Yeah, it really is incredible to think how one person's, passion and ingenuity can have such a lasting impact, almost a ripple effect, shaping the world in ways they never could have imagined.
Yeah, the power of ideas,
Yeah.
right? And how important it is to encourage that kind of creativity wherever we find it.
Hedy's story is the perfect example. She wasn't afraid to, defy expectations and just go for it, even in a field where she wasn't exactly welcomed with open arms.
Right. And I think that's a really important lesson. It reminds us that innovation often comes from challenging those norms, thinking differently, being willing to step outside those comfort zones.
It also makes you wonder about all those other brilliant minds out there, the people who have these groundbreaking ideas but maybe haven't had the chance or the support to bring them to life. Oh, absolutely. And that's why it's so crucial to create an environment where creativity can actually flourish, where people feel comfortable sharing their ideas, and where those ideas can actually, develop and grow.
It's like Hedy's story is a call to action for all of us to support innovation, to champion those who are pushing those boundaries, and to never stop questioning, exploring, and imagining what's possible.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Hedy Lamarr's incredible life, let's carry that spirit of innovation with us. Let's be inspired by her courage, her creativity, and her determination to make a difference.
And let's all challenge ourselves to look beyond what's on the surface, to see the potential in every person, and to never underestimate how powerful an idea can be, how it can truly change the world.
Well said. Thank you for joining us on this amazing journey. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Hedy Lamarr.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those innovative sparks flying.